working. Oh boy. Hey, Shalom. I just need to test this sound. I don't know. Hey, bro, can you let me know if the sound's coming through clear? Because I had to reset all these settings on here. Okay, Khan. Right, Shalom. First, I'd like to give all praise unto Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and honors to you brothers out there in the highways and the byways, teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. Honors to you brothers out there that's listening and learning, supporting the ministry, to the sisters as well. Title of the lesson is it's an Algo extra going into AI and the apotheosis of Edom, leading into what, or stemming from pride. So I just want to go into apotheosis and how it applies to, you know, the AI technology, and how all this technological advancement is all ultimately being used by Esau to fulfill a wicked agenda, a wicked purpose, which is ultimately nothing new. You know, it's ultimately nothing new. These things are these wicked devices really have been from ancient times. You know, rebellion, okay, straight up rebellion and pride. So that being said, let me share the screen, and let's just start moving through the information. Alright, so let's look up the word apotheosis, okay? So apotheosis, from the Greek, to deify, making divine, also called divinization or deification, is the glorification of a subject to divine level. The term has meanings in theology where it refers to a belief, and in art where it refers to a genre. Alright? And one example of apotheosis is actually, there's different images throughout the world. One of them is actually in America, in the Capitol building. There we go. This image here, which is known as the Apotheosis of George Washington. And in this image is actually found in the Capitol building within the dome. And if I zoom in, what you're going to see is various Greek deities. You see Poseidon there with the trident. Oh man, come on. Salaki, let me just reload that. Which these are all false gods. So you got wow, that's really loading slow. Right, you got Poseidon there with the trident. You know, various other Edomized Greek gods. Alright. Athena or whatever, you know, whoever. Everyone's seen Xena, right? Oh, come on. Right? And right in the middle of this image is George Washington, right at the center. Okay? Oh, come on. Right at the center of the image, if you see, is George Washington. All right, so he's actually depicted in the heavens as a god. All right, George Washington, and this image is called, as stated, the Apotheosis of George Washington. All right, and that you know, that sentiment is basically what drives Esau. Esau wants to be divine. He wants to be his own power. He wants to be godlike. He wants to overturn he who cannot be overturned, he who is the Most High. Okay, and all the way through antiquity, there's many examples, okay, of men going through this process. It says in the Greek world, the first leader who accorded, so he's an Edomite, himself divine honors was Philip II of Macedon. Alright, at his wedding to his sixth wife, Philip's enthroned image was carried in procession among the Olympian gods. So this man, Philip the Macedonian, exalted himself into divinity. When we go down into Rome, which America is nothing but Rome reincarnated, it says his example of Ija became a custom, passing to the Macedonian kings who were later worshipped in Greek Asia, from them to Julius Caesar, and so to the emperors of Rome. So the emperors of Rome deified themselves. Alright? It says some Hellenistic state leaders might be raised to the status equal to the gods before death, e.g. Alexander the Great, or afterwards, e.g. members of the Ptolemaic dynasty, because they were following after the ways of the Egyptians. All right. So that's apotheosis. It's nothing new. The imperial cult. Okay. An imperial cult is a form of state religion in which an emperor or a dynasty of emperors are worshipped as demigods or deities. Alright, and you can go into the Egypt, the emperor of Japan. So throughout history, these heathens have always sought to deify themselves and to exalt themselves to the status of being a god. And that's not changed to this day. The number one heathen, who is Edom, Esau, is still desiring such a status, which was not afforded to him. And he's trying to do it by way of what? Technology. Alright? And I want to just get an example here of Herod being exalted to a god status and the Most High smiting him down. And that's the same thing, that's what's going to happen to these elites, the elites of Edom, who seek godhood, who seek to establish themselves as powers, even powers outside the control of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, which is impossible. They're going to be cast down just like Herod was cast down, because they're nothing but men. So let's read this account here that I find very interesting. Acts 12 and 21. And upon a set day, Herod, arrayed in royal apparel, sat upon his throne and made an oration unto them. And the people gave a shout, saying, it is the voice of a god and not of a man. So they basically were deifying, or apotheosis, Herod. And immediately the angel of the Lord smote him, because he gave not the Most High the glory, and he was eaten of worms and gave up the ghost. But the word of God grew and multiplied. Okay, so that's another example of a man trying to exalt himself above that which he is. All right, let's get 2 Thessalonians 2:3. It says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God. Okay, so this man is trying to exalt himself above all which is called God. Ultimately, he wants to transcend and undo the word of the Lord, because if the Most High is the Most High, that means his word is the end all and be all of all things. What does the word say pertaining to Edom? The word says what? That Edom is going to be destroyed. This is why Esau, they refuse to believe that the Most High is a power, and they're seeking to beat their own power so they can basically determine their own destiny. And that's their religion. Their religion is basically about becoming gods through their own wisdom, through their own knowledge, so that they can come up against the creator that hates them. And you could watch if you watch the movie what's it, the last Alien they did. What was the last Alien movie they did, man? It was called with Michael Fassbender. Oh boy, it's totally eluding me, but basically in that they showed you kind of the concepts that Esau was looking for godhood, and he created the androids, and then they went out there in search of their creators, and when they found their creator, who happened to be a 7-foot tall Edomite, or 8-foot tall Edomite, or whatever, you know, let's not get into that, but the point is that when they found the creators, they found out that their creators were determined to destroy them. And she was like, why would they want to destroy us if they created us, man? And that's basically Esau's issue, man. Esau was created to be destroyed, and he's hurt, and he's trying to run away from that judgment, but you can't. It's the Isaiah 55:11, man. The word of the Lord is gonna come to pass, man. He is. There's no one that can deliver you out of his hand. Your own might cannot deliver you out of the judgment of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. But hey, that's Esau for you. Alright? It says, who opposeth and exalted himself above all that is called God and that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, shewing himself that he is God. And that began with what? Putting himself up as the image of the Most High and as the image of the Son. But now they're turning away from that, and they're trying to go even further than that. They're trying to totally disconnect any notion of there being a God of the Bible and all that, and they're bringing it to a whole level of carnality, which the people are eating up, because people they really don't want to believe in a spiritual power no more. They want to believe in a power that you can see, that you can touch, that you can feel. And that leads into this whole AI. Okay? Because I'm gonna get where are these? Let me get these news articles up. Salakia, these should have been up already. Yeah. And they've been pushing it out there, so I'm gonna read these, man. Alright? See, with the AI technology and that they want to do, they're basically trying to fashion themselves after the characteristics of the Most High. So they want to be able to predict the future. They want to be able to know everything, what's going on, to be all knowing. They want to be all seeing. They want to be all power. They want to have power over life and death. through their technology. Okay? And it all goes back to the same wickedness. It's nothing new. Right? This is an article from the Daily Star. It says humans will worship AI Messiah. God robot religion expected to boom. So it says a so-called God robot will be worshipped by millions of people because it will have mankind's best interest at heart, it has been claimed. So they're already pushing out the concept of the worship of what AI is. And if you worship the AI, then you're going to obviously worship he that created the AI. You see what they're doing? Alright? Like the older Ariella likes to call it, the digital Godhead. It says here, Dr. Stephen Thaler, the president and CEO of Imagination Engines and an AI and consciousness expert, has claimed people will rely on AI to provide solutions to society's problems. So people will no longer seek unto Yahweh Ba'Sham Yahushai, or who even they may perceive to represent Yahweh Ba'Sham Yahushai. They're going to straight up seek unto this AI, which is going to be what? Part and parcel with the beast, the system. Okay? The beast. The government. Esau. The elites. Because the elites control the system. The system's going to be controlled by AI. That's what they're doing. Now that goes hand in hand with what the scripture says about the people worshipping the beast. They're no longer gonna pray on common supplication to a higher power on high. They're looking to this man's system, this man's AI, this man's government, FEMA, to have their best interest at heart and save them and provide them or afford them resources and life. Alright? Something they can see, something that's tangible. Okay? Revelations 14 and 9, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and his mark, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And many people are going to worship the beast. They are, because they'll rather believe in technology, they'll rather believe in so-called science than believe in Yahweh Ba'Sham Yahushai, who is the living power, who is the God of knowledge. Okay? And most people are already in that mind frame. The thought of there being a higher power which is invisible is deemed to be what? A fairy tale. And even a lot of people that claim they believe it, they really don't believe it. What they believe in is tangible things. Deep down inside. Like their computer, like their laptop. Okay? That's what they believe in. Let's go back to this article. It says, an AI would provide the equivalent of a Messiah, having many orders of magnitude more processing elements than the brain, enable it to give us with solutions to the most daunting social, political, economic, and environmental challenges. But we already have the solution, and the Messiah already came and gave the solution. Yahweh Shai is the solution. The solution is within the biggest selling book of all time, the Bible. We don't need no AI to come up with no solutions. We already got the solution. And you know what part of the solution is? For you so-called white people to be put out of power. That's part of the solution. That's part of the solution too. Is the AI going to come up with that? for you to be exterminated. That's part of the solution. Okay, look at this. RoboCop. Look at this. Madness. Okay. And the same article, they're pushing it out here. Why humans will happily follow a robot messiah. Religions based on AI will succeed because we tend to worship supreme understanding, claims experts. Says same drive that compels people to believe in religions will also work for AI. People will eventually rely on a robot messiah to solve society's problems. This is because we have a tendency to worship supreme understanding. Last month, a former Google engineer formed the world's first church to follow an artificially intelligent being. This is kind of madness that's happening out there. And this is all coming from Esau, man. Because they're New Agers, man. And what their philosophy is basically, that's where they get the whole idea of evolution. Evolution is an ancient Babylonian theory. It's an ancient Babylonian religion. Evolution is a religion that man can evolve into godhood. And that's what they've said is they're hastening that process through technology. By fusing themselves with technology, they can become gods. And I'm dead serious. This is what these higher, not these average everyday peon Edomites. They're not thinking about godhood. They're thinking about, like, you know, X Factor or trying to buy a house. These super elite Edomites, man, they're thinking about godhood. That's what they're thinking. When they wake up, they're thinking about how can they live forever? How can they establish themselves as a power? How can they escape the judgment of the Most High God? And that's why they put all their money into these technologies, man. Into these research. They're nothing but a bunch of pagans. They're no different to the ancient Egyptians, man. Alright? But they're the ancient Egyptians on steroids. On crack. Alright? It says, New Age, the doctrine of evolutionary godhood. Generally, New Age thought, and this goes into Luciferian doctrine, Masonry. This is at the heart of all that inner deep wickedness and witchcraft that these guys push behind the scenes. The idea that man can become God, which is rebellion. Basically, because it's trying to do away with the Most High. We can go outside of the Most High and determine ourselves. Do as thou wilt. You know, there ain't no prophecy. If you watch that program Supernatural, that's a bugged out program. Do you know in that program there was a prophecy for the end of the world, and they averted in that program, them two brothers averted the end of the world. And do you know that fate in the program, the entity which is fate, came angry at them because they messed up everything and they killed fate, and that was deemed to be like a victory. Esau's scared of fate, man. Esau don't want to deal with fate because fate is not within your power. Which our fate is not within our power. Our fate is determined by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. But for Esau, that's a bad thing, because if you read Obadiah the 8, if you go back to Cain, what did the Cain say? My punishment is worse than I can bear. So Esau's thing is, yo, man, to hell with fate, man, because his fate ain't good. That's the number one thing. You watch a lot of these programs that these Edomites make. A lot of things. One of the concepts they like to push out there is you make your own destiny, which is evil. You really don't make your own destiny. Your destiny is predetermined, predestined by Yahweh, the word of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. And Esau, you're gonna learn that anyway, even though you're trying to, flop about and jump about like a fish out of water, just flip-flapping around the place. You still gonna get smashed and put in that frying pan. Okay? It says, New Age thought supports the theory of organic evolution, but extends the concept to evolution of the spirit. This is the concept of evolutionary godhood, where the next step in evolution won't be physical, but spiritual. And really, you could put that in with the digital. The principles of evolution are constantly moving mankind, which they're not trying to move mankind. They don't care about the average person. The elites only care about themselves. Moving mankind towards God consciousness, where man and reality connect in unified enlightenment and all this crap. Basically, they want to be God. Okay, they want to be their own gods, rule forever in some everlasting kingdom without the Most High, without the Israelites, without the Bible, without Yahweh Shai, which is madness. Okay, we know that, but this is what these people believe. This is what this AI is all about. This AI is all about apotheosis, man. Okay, it's all about Esau trying to be his own power, trying to be God, trying to strive against his maker. Let's get that, but let me get this first. Psalms 9 and 20. But put them in fear, O Lord, that the nations may know themselves to be but men. Because all these various nations, these heathens, have all bucked up against the predestination of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. That's why they set up idols. That's why they set themselves up as being divine. There's really only one people that can even consider calling themselves divine on earth, and that's by divine unction, and that's the Israelites. There's only one people that are holy. There's only one people that have been chosen. And even the chosen people have to go in accordance with the order which is set up by the Most High. Everything has to be done according to his order and his word. And when you're trying to go outside of that order, you really that's rebellion. And Esau is the chief example of rebellion, because he's not just trying to, he's going all out. He's going all out, man. This guy has taken rebellion against the Most High to a degree that even the heathens didn't envision. I mean, this guy is trying to undo male and female. This guy's just trying to rip up creation and just rip the whole book up and just rewrite everything according to his own wicked and vain mind, man. In the hope that Obadiah 18, if he can try and undo this and undo that, then maybe Obadiah 18 ain't gonna stand. But you can't undo a damn thing. Okay? This is Isaiah 45 and 9. It says, woe unto him, and this is to you Edomites, woe unto you that striveth with his maker. Because all this vain attempt, all this research you're doing, all this technology, and you're going all out to try and establish yourself an everlasting kingdom. It's vain, man. You're striving against your maker. The Most High created you for a purpose, man. And here it is. Once you fulfill your purpose, the Lord is just gonna do away with you. You ain't gonna be able to do anything else but what the Lord made you to do. Okay? The kingdom of the everlasting kingdom. Let's get that in Daniel's. The everlasting kingdom that's gonna be set up is the kingdom of the Israelites, not the kingdom of Edom. That's written, and that's backed by the power, the Most High power, man. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. You can't do nothing against that. You're trying to set up this new world order, trying to get your AIs and your nuclear weapons and your quantum this and your trying to research the hell out of the very world that the Lord created. That's how insane you are. You're trying to research and learn about the world you were put in and trying to defeat the very entity that created that world with the world that he made. Do you know how crazy that is? Do you know how vain and stupid it is to believe that you could figure out something that the Most High don't know? Here it is, the Most High created atoms, and you think you're going to be able to put atoms together in a way that's going to be beneficial for you to overthrow the Most High himself? Who you think made them atoms, man? Gave them atoms the properties, and man, you Edomites, man, you just stuck on stupid, man. You were made to be fools at the end of the day. You're just playing your purpose. But I gotta talk about it. It says Daniel 7 and 18. But the saints, not the Edomites, but the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom. Who we gonna take the kingdom from? Who has the kingdom now? You. You done had the kingdom. You were loose for a little season, You done had the kingdom. These Edomites, so-called white men, has had the kingdom. They've been ruling over the earth. The scripture says the saints are going to take the kingdom. So we're going to take the kingdom from you Edomites through Yahushua. Yahushua is the champion. He's the star. He's the celebrity, right? And possess the kingdom for how long? Forever. Even forever and ever. So you ain't going to establish your own blessing, my man. The blessing was given unto Jacob. The Lord has spoken it. And he is. See, Esau, which I might have to do that in a separate lesson, Esau's only hope is that he is not. But I'm here to tell you is that he is. So that's it. It's a wrap for you. It's over. So this New World Order thing was doomed from the very beginning because it is not written. Is it not written that the Lord shall disappoint the devices of the crafty? So you're done. You're finished. You're through. You're washed up. We're not scared of your New World Order. I'm not fearful I'm going to wake up in a New World Order. Nah, the Lord has got this, man. The Lord, he is, man. You ain't. Who are you? You gonna be not. He is, and you not. You gonna be disappearing real soon. Just like Herod when he tried to do the same thing. Even though Herod didn't have all that technology and AI, like Marwan said, apocalypse. Hey, if you brothers that's into X-Men, Apocalypse was a bad dude. That's one of the best characters, and they messed that character up because Apocalypse kind of represents Yahushua, man. He's got the red eyes, and he's unstoppable, you know. And he got his horsemen and all that, and he said Beast was trying to use all kind of technology to trap Apocalypse, to destroy him, and Apocalypse said to Beast, he said, Beast, how many peoples have desired my end? You are no closer than the Babylonians with their spears and fire sticks. Hey, I love that clip, man. Hey, you ain't no, all this knowledge and this technology that you got, you ain't no closer to defeating the Most High and to overturn the word of the Most High than the Egyptians or the Babylonians or any of these other people that fell by the word. Because all these kingdoms ultimately were brought down by divine decree, by the word of the Lord. The Lord ruleth in the kingdom of men, and none of these nations could. When the Lord said it was time, let's get that, man. When the Lord said that was a wrap, it was a wrap. There weren't no divination that could save them. You ain't no closer. You could Google it, IBM it, satellite it. Still ain't no closer to overturning the word of the Lord, man. Isaiah 55:11 still stands. Let's get Job 14:5. It says, seeing his days are determined, and the number of his months are with thee, thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. The Lord has appointed your bounds, my man. You haven't gotten anywhere. You are not a god. You are no closer to being a god, man. You're finished. You might as well be throwing pixie dust around, man. You ain't on no level, man. You think you are, but you're not. And that's why when Yahushua comes, you're gonna be hurt. All this what you've done is gonna be for naught, vain. The Lord's gonna destroy your AIs. He's gonna destroy your all your technology. He's gonna burn it, man. Easily. Flawless victory. Perfect. Okay? Simple as that. That's what we're prophesying. In the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. It says Isaiah 45:9. Woe unto him that striveth with his maker. Let the potsherd strive with the potsherds of the earth. Shall the clay say to him that fashioned it, what makest thou? Or thy work, he hath no hands? You know what I'm saying? Look, man, you Edomites, man, you out your mind. You were made to be destroyed, man. Come on the comment board. Look, man, you were made to be destroyed. You were made to be hated. You were made to be destroyed. You were made to be shamed. Must I go on? That's what you were made to do, and that's what you're gonna fulfill. And no AI, no RFID, or no blockchain, or none of that is gonna stop that shame. In fact, it's just making you look even worse, making you look even more foolish. Okay, Most High shaking his head like, man, these guys are, oh, he really did a number on you. All right. Isaiah 14:12 says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? All right. Because when you go into their belief systems, the elites, they believe that this is what they believe. This is not what we teach. They believe that basically in the garden, the serpent was trying to help mankind transcend and become basically like the Most High, become on level with the Most High. And they believe that the Most High was holding back Adam and Eve from becoming like him. Right? That's the Luciferian doctrine. That's how mad these people are. They're mad. They're mad people. You have to understand, these people are crazy. They don't got a sound mind. As much as you see them, they've done all this shit, they're really crazy, batshit crazy, man. It's what they believe. So they actually believe that they're going to regain some form of light, some form of knowledge that's going to elevate. No. Okay? Because if you were so enlightened, then why are you going to go into slavery? If you were so, how art thou fallen from heaven? How did, since you on this godhood, since you on this godhood status, since you on the level, how are you going to fall from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. And that goes into Apotheosis. Also physically going up into heavens. But if you look at images of Apotheosis, they're always depicting themselves in the heavens. Yeah? Like my man George Washington. If you look at the image, when you go into the Capitol building, you're looking up into the heavens, and there you see Esau, man, Edom, with a bunch of other Edomites. It's dead serious, man. This is what Esau is a madman. He's a real madman. Alright? Let's jump back over here. I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. This dude's really reaching for them stars, man. I will be like the Most High. That's the pride, rebellion. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. And how are you going to be brought down to hell? Very easily, without labor. The Lord just spoke it, and it's going to happen. Easy work. The Lord ain't going to fight. The Lord don't need to fight. He just spoke it. It's already happened. It's done. That's the nature of the power that you're dealing with, man. That you're trying to buck up against, man. You really should just lay down. But it's written that you're going to be rebellious, man. That's part of the movie too. Okay. So hey, it all plays in, man. At the end of the day, the mark of the beast, right? The AI and all that, man. It all plays in to an ongoing story, or ongoing thing, man. With these Edomites and these heathens, going back into Psalms, the 2nd chapter. That's why the scripture says, "He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh." The Lord's going to have these heathen in derision, beginning with the so-called white man. It's an ancient thing. It's not a new concept what Esau's doing right now. It's just that Esau, he's going because he's getting that technology, man, and he actually believes he gonna be able to live forever, merge himself with this digital system and rule as a god. And there's so many movies, and you can see that, and that's the wicked boasting of their heart's desire, man. You watch the latest Resident Evil. What is that all about? A bunch of elites somewhere, cybernetically and genetically enhanced, who want to be gods over a new world. I mean, like, They're telling you in these movies exactly what their religion is. That's their religion. That's what they believe. This is not a fairy tale to them. That's what they're actually actively doing. They put their money into this stuff. All right. So, jump back over here. Read through these comments, and then we're gonna get out of here. Oh, the video proving America is Babylon. I mean, there's all kind of videos on America being Babylon. I think I've re-uploaded one actually. Yeah, but we put precepts there. I have a question. Icepeak said you do not become an adult till age 20. Is that true? I asked them and they said that's true. Nah, it's not true. That's not true. The age of, there's different legal ages within the scriptures to do certain things within the scriptures. For instance, you had to be 25 to be a active priest. You had to be 20 to be eligible to pay certain tithes, or not tithes. I shouldn't use the word tithes, but certain things you were expected to pay at 20. To be eligible for war was 20, but that doesn't mean that you wasn't a man before 20. You're a man when you get to puberty, when you reach the age of 12. But there's something called a legal age or administrative ages. So there's certain ages whereby you weren't, basically, if you're like 13 years old, there's certain things you weren't expected to have to do, because you're a young man. You're still gaining experience, but that doesn't mean you wasn't a man. So you got to understand that. So no, technically speaking, 20 is not the age you become an adult. Just 20 is one of those legal ages mentioned in the scriptures, just like 25. If I could find an example of that for you real quick, if I can. We'll take the priests, for example. If I can find it real quick. I think it's 20 and 5 years. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there we go. So among the Levites, Numbers 8 and 23, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, This is it that belongeth unto the Levites, from 20 and 5 years old and upward they shall go in to wait upon the service of the tabernacle of the congregation, and from the age of 50 years they shall cease waiting upon the service thereof, and shall serve no more. So that's an example of what's known as a legal age. Just like in this society, you got an age where you're not allowed to drive until that age. Stuff like that doesn't mean you're not a man. Just doesn't mean you're not allowed to drive, or you're not allowed to do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just the same thing applied. You had to be 25 to do a certain ordinance in the congregation, and that with good reason, because that extra years you had to prepare, because it was deadly serious, man. You could get put to death for making a mistake. So you know, them ICPK guys, they're just clowns, man. If they want to teach you that you're not a man until 20, that's just stupid. That's stupidity. All right, that's just being dumb. That, you know, come on. You're gonna look at some 18-year-old 6'6" dude with a dench ass beard and tell him he's not a man. Dude's got 2 children already. You're gonna tell him he's not? Come on now, stop it. Anyway, let's go back. So, go through, and I did videos on that anyway. You can check it out. The beast is the Roman Empire, which wherein the the reincarnation of the Roman Empire right now. This system. It's the Roman system, beginning with America. Yeah, rebellion is as witchcraft. Yep. Edom is finished. Yeah, man. Okay, the brother posted the scripture. Okay, yeah, so with that, I'm going to say shalom, and I hope brothers were edified. And Lord will, we're going to keep bringing out information, further edifying, man. So with that, I'm going to say shalom.